She likes to sit
Hey
in the.
everybody, welcome to another episode of Family Campfire by Utah. Today we have the distinct honor and privilege of having the one and only Mr. Kurt Franz, Kamikaze Kurt, joining us from the Hoover Boyz. Um, I have a couple other surprises for people in the YouTube land. Um, I want to say, first of all, welcome back, Tom. It is great to have you back on the chat again. It's been a while. Somebody did post their external on YouTube, I see. But other than that, it's great having you back, Tom. Miss you in your absence. I'm just totally thrilled to have you back on here. Tar Heel, great to see you again, as always. And I want to introduce everyone to Mr. Sandy Pull-Tab Blizzard. He is the guy that does all the real finding when he goes hunting with Tom with NC Digger.
Okay, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Good night.
Anyway, I just want to introduce him to everybody. Hello, Pull-Tab. Good to have you here.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the invite.
I do have one question for you, Pull-Tab, before we get started with questions for Kurt.
Okay.
I noticed somebody had posted on Facebook that you had made a really awesome find recently of 8 3-ring Civil War bullets in one hole. That's just amazing. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I took a friend of mine out. Since Tom is down for the count, we went out late Wednesday afternoon and about a 2-hour hunt, went by myself. And my last hole, I got a iffy signal AT Pro. It was thumping a little bit on about 67, 69. Dug the plug, found one bullet. Started getting some more signals, and the deeper I went, I started getting nails, glass, and I wound up with 8 3-ringers out of that hole.
8 3-ringers in one hole.
Yep, and I went back today with a brand new metal detectorist, and 5 feet away we found the other 2.
Woo. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, for people that don't know, like I didn't know until just right before the chat, those 3-ring bullets came in 10 count packages, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
That is really cool. Yeah, so if you ever find 8 in one hole, make sure you check around for them other 2. They're around there somewhere.
I was tired. I got down about 12 inches, and I was hitting nail and glass, and I gave up. So we went back today and found the other 2.
That is awesome.
All right. If you're gonna tell about the other 2 that you dug, you gotta tell them about the bucket list find.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, today we went back and found those 2, and the last hole, I found my bucket list item. I found my very first 1857 Flying Eagle.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Only seen one, and Tom dug it or found it in the creek we were hunting last year. That's the only one I've ever seen until today.
Yeah.
A little green and toasty, but it's nice.
That's a bingo, ain't it, Kurt?
Oh, yeah.
Big.
Wow. All right, I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to turn it over to Tom, and you guys have fun asking questions, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this one.
Me too.
All right. I'm assuming it's my turn. Kurt, I would like to thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I understand you had to juggle about 3 different types of equipment to get on here.
Yeah, the link wasn't working on Facebook through the iPad, so I tried it on my phone while Utah called me on my phone. So I tried to get on the internet upstairs on the desktop, and the internet crashed on the desktop. So I came back downstairs, and he sent me an email through YouTube, and we're here.
You know, a lot of times mine will do that. What I'll do is I'll just take a coat hanger and stick it in the end of my AT Pro. It makes it work every time. That's what the AT Pro is good for, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah. Oh, let's go for a lot more than that, Tom. Come on now.
All right, brother. You do use an AT Pro, don't you, Kurt?
I do. That's my main.
How long have you been using that machine?
A little over a year.
You like it pretty good?
Yeah, it works. It does the job.
Yeah, I mean, that's my machine, too. I love the machine. It's a go-to machine. Of all the things that you've ever found, what would be top of your list as far as your most memorable?
Wow.
And tell us the story behind it.
Hmm. There's it's hard to narrow them down, but how about I'll tell my oldest coin.
Okay.
Uh, when I was younger, I did a lot of detecting, and it's around, mid-teenager years. Me and my buddy would just go around their neighborhood. We had a park close by, and we beat the you-know-what out of this park because we didn't have cars. We couldn't go anywhere else. We found, a few decent things back there. A couple. Our best thing back there was probably a matron head large cent spill. We found 4 large cents within like a 5-foot radius. But when I got back into the hobby like a year and a half ago, I go back to the same patch of woods that we always hit. Go inside the woods, beat it up, didn't find anything, come out of the woods, way down the road, walk up the trail. Right where I was about to go back in the woods, I get a deep FE signal. It was like hitting 60s, 70s, and I was like, I haven't found anything all day. It's deep, whatever, I'll pop a plug. Pop the plug, hit nice and solid, dig down a couple more inches, big green coin flipped over. Okay, now you have my attention. Turned out to be a 1694 Williams and Mary halfpenny.
Wow.
And it's my oldest coin to date. It was my first colonial coin. I found a 1600s coin before a 1700s coin. I did find 2 other 1700s coins on that site after that one. But it was it stuck that hook pretty deep in me to keep going.
Oh, yeah, it'll do it. It'll hook you hard.
Yeah.
It will hook you hard. We've talked about this before on prior chats with everybody, all the other hunters. What is your favorite research tool as far as doing research on your sites?
I like the aerial maps a lot. I mean, I'll do a fair amount of reading and talking to the elderly people in the community about what they did or what their parents did and stuff like that. But putting it on the aerial, like historic aerials, and overlapping the years just is wild to me. And then figuring out now and then going there and seeing how overgrown it is and being disappointed. But I really like that tool.
Yeah, that seems to be a pretty common thread among all of us that actually do research on sites. I mean, you got coin shooters that just go shoot parks, and that's fine. But then you've got relic hunters like us, and we actually research the areas. So it's a little more involved than just being a coin shooter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not knocking the coin shooters. If that's what you want to do. You want to comb the beaches and scoop the sand, that's perfectly fine. Everybody to each his own, It's just what rings my bell is finding that old colonial stuff or Civil War stuff, It's just amazing when you find it.
I love it all. I love anything military. Obviously everybody loves coins because it's easy to date those things. And the jewelry just adds up. It just shows up. Dig everything, and you're going to find jewelry too.
Okay. I didn't realize I didn't have my light on, Tar Heel. I apologize for that. Like I said, I'm taking OxyContin a moment, so I'm pretty much in the dark anyway. All right, well, Kurt, it was nice to talk to you for a second. There's enough people on this panel. I think we're going to keep you busy anyway.
That's all good.
Those were my 2 questions that I really wanted to know about. I'll give it back to Utah or turn it over to Tar Heel. It looks like Utah stepped away, so.
No, I'm still here.
You want to let's just turn it over to Matt first, or you want to go with?
Before we do that, Matt had mentioned something earlier that I want to bring up to everybody. He mentioned that he was going to possibly be inclined to do a giveaway later, and it's a really great informational tool that he's going to be giving away and sharing with everybody. So if everybody will stick around till a little bit later in the show, I think. Matt, do you still have that handy?
I do, yeah. It's a little family treasure hunting book, Utah. This is actually written and produced by Charles Garrett, and it's excellent for anyone new or trying to get into the hobby. So we're going to be giving that away tonight, so definitely pay attention, y'all.
Yes. And anyway, with that, I'm going to turn it on over to Matt, and y'all keep on going.
Thanks, Utah. Hey, Kurt, it's great to talk with you tonight, man. You know, we've been chatting back and forth for probably the last 6 months, but it's good to finally see you in person and have a conversation with you.
Absolutely, Matt. It's an honor, man. I mean, you gave me my first big shout out on YouTube. I may have had like 2 videos up or something, and I'll never forget that.
Well, I'll tell you what, the quality of your videos is unbelievable, and I want to talk about that for a little bit here, because I've been a huge fan of your videos for quite some time, but you know, this last video you put up of the field test of that Go Find 60, I've never laughed so hard through an unboxing and field test video. I laughed through that whole thing, man. It was brilliant.
Thank you. That was a really painful day. We went to like 4 different locations and we couldn't get out of the wind. And wind noise is the one thing that just irks me whenever I'm doing anything where I'm doing a lot of talking, because it'll just mute the mic completely. But we pulled it off. It was a lot. It was almost 10 hours. It was over 10 hours of editing for that 13-minute clip, because Bill's never been in the spotlight, so he messed up a lot. My hands were full in the editing room, but it was fun. I really liked the way it turned out.
The outtakes are awesome too, by the way. Don't ever stop posting those outtakes. Those are great. I want to talk a little bit about the guys that you hunt with, the Hoover boys. You've got Brad, you've got Leo, you've got Bill. How'd you meet these guys, and how'd you guys hook up?
I met them all through my local club. I joined the club a little over a year and a half ago, and it wasn't until later last summer that we started really hunting together, and it was just here and there, like last fall, and then I started doing the videos, and we started hunting together a little more, and all of a sudden it was just, we're like best friends when we're out there together. We haven't been together that long.
Well, the chemistry between you guys is pretty obvious. I mean, obviously, you take your chance, you take your jabs at them with the video, but I can see them talking behind your back and stuff during the video, so they get back at you.
I get a call from Bill after every video's post. He's like, "Are you serious, man?" And he plays off his sarcasm so good. Like, I know he's like the most sarcastic person I've ever met, and you can't offend the guy, but he still gets me every time. I'm like, "Bill, I was just joking." And he's like, "Come on, man, I'm just messing with you."
The Muffin Man music was killing me on that last one, though, dude. That was over the top. That was awesome.
I couldn't figure out what to plug in there, and then I found that, and my jaw hit the ground. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I plugged it in. I was like, "It's perfect. It's perfect."
Obviously, you spend a lot of time editing, Kurt, and I really appreciate. I see so many metal detectorists out there that are elevating their editing and videoing and putting things on YouTube that are just phenomenal. Let me ask you, what's your favorite episode that you've done for the Hoover Boys?
I mean, one of the most memorable days was Dig It All, because there was so much variety that came out of the ground. Old big silver, multiple gold rings, Civil War buttons. Like, it was just a crazy day. They're all fun. They all run together for me, but that day just sticks out.
Okay, cool.
And when we were all together, which is a hard thing to do, get all 4 of us together.
Right. The one that really sticks out in my mind, and the one where I knew that you were a very serious, if not sick metal detectorist, was when you found that little trime and you left that little piece out in the ground somewhere, and you actually like excavated that area and brought that home with you with your pinpointer. You found that little shaving of a trime. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was. I've wanted that coin for a long, long time, and I fell into one that way and took a little piece of it off, and I had to find it. I wouldn't have. I couldn't sleep unless I tried to find that piece, and I still didn't think I was gonna find it.
Right.
It showed up at the last second. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" It was like exactly how I said in the video. I had that bucket full of rocks that I sifted through all the dirt, so I had all the rocks. So I already looked at everything. I dumped out the bucket, and I'm just looking in the bottom of the bucket, and there it was. So it was in one of the first couple scoops I sifted if it was at the bottom of the bucket. So.
Well, I see a question pop up in the chat here. How'd you get the nickname Ginger Bear?
That's good old JMO, New Hampshire trip. I call him Honeycomb, so.
All right, and I got one last question, and I know people are dying to know. Kurt, do you ever wash that headband?
It has gone through the washing machine one time. This is actually not the one I wear on the videos. This is I bought two. This is one I use in like unboxings and stuff like that. When I'm out detecting, that one's filthy. That one's gone through the washing machine one time. Other than that, I'll hand wash it. But it's few and far between. When I'm done the hunt, it'll be just soaking wet, so I'll just hang it on my side view mirror and just let it dry.
Lovely.
No.
All right, Utah. That's all I can come up with, man. My face is starting to hurt. I'm grinning too much.
Thank you, Matt.
That is awesome. Full Tab, I'm going to move on to you and let you ask some questions, and then if there are any left, I'll ask a couple, and then I'll let you guys go into discussion mode about different stuff.
All right. First, I want to say thanks, Utah, for letting me come in tonight and be a part of this great community. I've got some real idols here. I've been watching you guys' YouTube videos, and Tom's been helping me out a lot and been sharing a lot of things with me. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. And it's good to see familiar faces, and it's also great to meet Kurt. I started watching your videos after Matt gave you a shout out on his channel, and I really enjoyed them. You guys are hilarious. You're great. You're entertaining. Not to mention the awesome finds you guys are doing. I mean, you get so excited even over all this stuff, and that is wonderful. You know, a lot of detectives get out here and all they want to do is find silver, but you guys just get so pumped up on the small things, and that's awesome.
I mean, silver's awesome. Who doesn't like getting, who doesn't get excited when they see that silver in the hole? But I mean, it's way more than coin shooting for me. I mean, I love finding the silver. Most of the silver I find isn't on silver signals. It's just a deep signal that's jumping around, and like, oh, well, I got to figure out what it is, so I'm gonna pop it. But we have a lot of fun. We're very serious about detecting and serious about ourselves, or serious about like the history and all that. But we're not serious about ourselves. We like to have fun.
That's awesome.
When I'm out detecting, I'm more or less reliving my childhood. So I have a family, wife, and kids, and when I'm out there, I get to be the kid. So I will be.
That's great, Kurt. The only thing I really want to ask you is two things, really. I also hunt with the AT Pro. I just got it last year. I'm relatively new to metal detecting. Tom has taught me everything I know. Those deep silver signals you're talking about, I'm still having trouble distinguishing between that and any tips or settings you think. I run Pro Zero, iron scream about 26 to 28.
It's got to be in the ground to find it. That's if it's in the ground and you get over it, your machine's going to tell you. I hug the ground. I swing nice and slow, medium swing. I want to hear it all, and if I have a question about a signal, I'm not going to trust any machine. I'm going to dig it and trust my eyes and see what it is.
Outstanding, outstanding. Last question I got for you. I recently saw some videos you posted and also the stealth thickers posted. Can you at least give us a little bit of what your experience was like up in New Hampshire You guys had a blast. Those outtakes were hilarious.
It was insane. It was absolutely insane. Those guys are the best. South Vegas for life.
That was a great honor. Had to been a great honor.
It was. It's just hanging out with family, like really good family that I've never been able to meet, and it was insanity. There's so much that happened that either didn't get on film or was not appropriate for YouTube.
I can see that. Well,
And
guys, thanks for sharing, brother. You guys do an awesome job. I love your videos. You keep them coming, man.
thank you. I will.
That's all I got, Utah. I appreciate it, guys.
No problem. I'll and to you, Pull Tab, thank you for coming on. It's an honor to have you on here. I've seen you in almost all of Tom's videos where any real finds are made. And I've always wanted to chat with you on here, but I finally get the honor to do it.
I tell you what, Tom has been a real resource to me. He's been a good friend, and he's shown me things and what to look for that I never would have considered in metal detecting. And if it wasn't for the things that he showed me and taught me, I wouldn't have done the things I did. Dig on, brother. Dig on.
Yeah, he definitely is a wealth of knowledge and one of the best tools somebody can have in their back pocket when they're out there detecting and need an answer. Kurt, I've got a couple questions from the audience first. Rusty Halo in the external wants to know where you got the big coils and how much do they cost?
Hi, Megan. I got mine on eBay. I have the NEL sharpshooter coil. I forget how much that one was. I also have the NEL storm coil. That's the 13 by 14 you always see me playing with in the grass. Those are right around $200 for that big coil. But I've talked to her about this before. She uses the little coil because it's a weight problem with the machine. So she's finding great stuff. She needs to just keep it out of the water. She recently got a machine.
Yeah, I saw where she posted that her machine filled up with water.
Properly, so
yeah.
Works that
also, Al Fu in the external wants to know how did you become a Fu?
How did I become a Fu? Well, to become a Fu, you need to destroy the evil one, and that's what they call pull tabs or pop tops, whatever you want to call them. And I destroyed the evil one on YouTube. You can check out the video on YouTube. It's called "Say No to the Evil One," and it's pretty self-explanatory. After that, I was bored one night, and I made the most of it.
Totally killed one of the evil ones. I've got just a few questions. I noticed in a lot of your videos actually, but the soil that you dig in up there, here in Texas, I would kill for that kind of soil because here that clay mud soil, whenever it does heat up and start drying out, it turns to almost concrete. But I noticed, like in that last video y'all made of the unboxing and trial video, it seemed like that shovel just went right in with next to no effort.
Well, you got to imagine Bill pushing down on that shovel too.
Okay.
No, but we've had a lot of rain recently. We are blessed with some decent ground right now. I can't imagine going through that concrete dirt. That stuff's fun.
What's your favorite type of places to hunt? Is it parks? Is it old historic properties? Or is it fields or woods?
It doesn't matter. I love it all. I love every aspect of this hobby and everything that comes with it. From cellar holes to I recently tried to do a little stream hunt. You know, not like in the water, but it was a tiny little stream. That was a whole lot of fun. I've never done it before. You know, I'm good with it all though.
Um, okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to
I
read
do
the
like the
internal
grass.
chat at the same time.
I, I do like the grass. I like popping plugs.
When that brings me to the question. I know plugs can be one of the main things I think people should, before you go onto private property, you should trial and do and try to become an artist at doing it right, especially if it's other people's property because you don't want to mess up their yards. But when you do your plugs, do you do a 3/4 plug or a half plug? I mean, how do you
Depends
usually
where
do
I'm
your
at and
plug?
what coil I'm using. It depends where
Okay.
I'm at and what coil I'm using. Like the little tiny plugs, you can make, you can cut a little half horseshoe and flip it over. The bigger plugs or the bigger coils, if you do a half horseshoe and flip it over, the center of your coil is not going to be able to scan the hole to see where you're at and all that stuff. So it gets difficult. It all depends where you are too. I'm not going to go to somebody's yard and tear it to pieces. But it is important whenever cutting plugs to cut the plug big enough to get the roots and the grass as one. So when you put it back, it stays one. That's why I like going after just deep targets when I'm cherry picking. I say dig it all, but just I go after deep targets.
Okay. Um, and that's another thing. Somebody had brought up in a previous episode of ours that the ground in different places, the more it freezes and thaws, can change the different depth of targets in different areas. Do you have a big problem with that where you're located, as far as it freezing and targets being, 6 inches in one yard and 1.5 feet deep in another yard, or?
Absolutely. I mean, I've dug clad, 10 inches deep, and it's a terrible feeling when you see a clad quarter 10 inches. But and it's part of the game. You don't know where there's been fill or places that have more moisture in the ground or more susceptible to floods. Most of the time, coins are going to be deeper. But yeah, I mean, you got in the woods some places like up in New Hampshire. We're digging out colonial buttons from the mid 1700s, and some of them are an inch or two deep. It's just because
Wow.
the pine needles just nothing grows on the ground, so there's no vegetation to grow on top of and die and build soil. It's just right there.
Wow.
Kick the pine needles out of the way, and there's a button. Not all the time, but it happened while I was up there.
Yeah, I noticed that happened a couple of times with those shotgun Wayne shotgun shells.
Don't even bring names up if you want to keep this. I seriously did like 20 plus at that place. It was insane. Every other hole. I did get one little suspender clip, but we didn't get it on video.
That's insane.
The
It reminds me of places where we used to go dove hunting all the time. I know it's got to be about the same way out there. It's shotgun shells everywhere.
The oxen shoe right in front of the Keebler tree was the biggest trip for me. I got the biggest kick out of that one. Right in front of the tree.
Well, I know you obviously prefer hunting with a group of people or with more friends than just going out by yourself all the time. I mean, most detectorists like to get out by themselves from time to time just to let go of stress and ignore everything. But what I want to say, what is your most memorable group hunt? But I'm guessing that would have been going up to New Hampshire. But other than that, what was your most memorable group hunt other than that trip?
Oh, we recently got to do a historic property in my state that's part of the Historical Society through the club that I'm in, called the Benson Hammond House, and I had 2 videos of that on YouTube, and it was just absolutely amazing to get on a piece of historic property for the area that's never been touched before, and to just have at it. Obviously we donated everything that we found to the museum, which is I'm completely fine with, because finding it's the thrill for me. other than that, it'll sit in my basement somewhere, and only I get to enjoy it. I'd rather other people see it too. But that was a really big, memorable hunt for me. And we've been there twice, and I hope to go back again in the fall. There's fields that go on for forever too that we haven't even touched yet.
Oh wow! Yeah, those were two awesome videos. I loved the little voices from the past that showed up with the different items and all the dogs. But those were even more great videos that you do.
Thank you.
The editing you do is amazing, and the work that you have to put into it, I could only imagine. I'm thinking that there was another question in the external, but it looks like that was for someone else. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my questions. Thank you for answering all mine. I'm going to let you four guys kind of have a discussion time, talk about different stuff, this, that, and the other. So actually, I'll say, Matt, if you want to start talking about anything, go for it. And I think I'll probably try to start this off with asking, I believe Rusty Halo had a question for Pull Tab to start that off. Oh, she wants Pull Tab to tell about how he asked Tom about digging more than one thing at a time.
Short story. Last fall, Tom took me down to a old farm site that he's been hunting. It does have a 1800s old home site that's been bulldozed down years ago, and in the edge of the woods was this big cypress tree stump. Tom's been wanting to get around there for a long time, and in the fall, when it finally got nice enough we can get around there, Tom and I started digging, and he got a banging signal and started pulling barber quarters out of the hole. I mean, one, and then another one, and then another one. He pulled 4 out of the same hole. And it seems like everywhere we go, Tom just finds 2 or 3 of everything. And I'm like, man, don't you ever just find one thing? It's always 2, 3, 4 things. 9 large sets of 3. You know. Guy's got a shoe somewhere. I just hadn't found it yet, and when I do, I'm gonna take it out.
That was a good story. Hey, you forgot to tell them though.
What's that?
After I dug my 3 or 4 out, I stood up, smoked a cigarette, and let you finish digging the hole.
That's right, and I found one. That's correct.
That's exactly right.
And that's the way we roll, right?
That's right.
What did you find when I backed out and let you have the creek?
That's right.
What did you find?
Back right out, and I found 9 large cents, I believe it was.
Flying eagle.
Oh, yeah, I did find that flying eagle that day. I sure did.
Yep.
That was the day I fell all up in the briars and about to pass out.
Yep. That's the way Tom and I do it. If one of us gets a good spot, we'll hunt it for a few minutes, and we'll back out and let the other person give a shot at it. I mean, we share the joy of metal detecting with each other. We don't try to, hoard or keep each other from out of each other's honey hole. If we find a good spot, we'll hit it a couple times, and then we back out and let the other person try.
Never been any jealousy or anything like that between us.
Amen.
Awesome.
Well, I got a question for Kurt.
I'm listening.
Kurt, camaraderie aside, I know you spent a lot of time with the stealth diggers up there, but camaraderie aside, how much of an adjustment was that to hunt up there in those cellar holes? I mean, you're used to using that big coil on the grass in Baltimore. How much of an adjustment was that to go up there and hike those big hills and get way back in there in the woods and dig in the brush?
The biggest thing was hiking the big hills because I shocked the system on that one. I mean, the second day we got up in there a couple miles on pretty steep trails, and I felt it the next day for sure. The detecting wise, I'm used to swinging low and slow. I know what to listen for. I mean, hunting in iron or hunting in a trashy park or a trashy area, you either know what you're doing or you don't. And I picked up on it really quick. I mean, there's a few cellar holes around here I played around, but nothing like that trip.
Okay. And then just a follow up too. I know this is a chat more geared toward some folks that might be just trying to get into the hobby. So, what advice would you have for a youth or a person who's never held a metal detector before? I mean, where do they go? What do they do? What do they buy?
First, see if there's any local clubs in your area. I've been blessed. There's a few in my area, but the one I fell into is really awesome. That's where you're going to get your most information, and you're going to be able to figure out what the laws are for your area. Other than that, depending on how much money you have, depending on what you want to spend on a machine, I mean, there's so many options out there. But just remember that I get so many questions about how do you find this or how do you find that, or I'm doing all the things that you say and I still can't find a silver coin. It needs to be in the ground. It needs to be in the ground. You need to be on a spot that will hold a silver coin, or whatever I've never found a Civil War bullet. Well, have you ever detected anywhere near a Civil War area? It's just to stick with it, because no matter how many people in your area have detected these places, there's still stuff to be found. And most of the places we detect on our videos is public land, and we've found some incredible things just sifting through the trash.
That was kind of going to be my follow-up question to that, Kurt. Was you guys seem to hunt some pretty great areas that are full of some history out there. I mean, how do you find those spots, and how do you get permission when permission is required?
Like I said, most of the places we've been hunting is public land. Unfortunately, they're even starting to dry up for us. We need to work on some permissions. It's always good to have a card, like a business card, when doing permissions, so somebody can get in contact with you, or you can really tell what they're about. Or if they say no, you give them their card. They can always change their mind. Always be polite and say thank you for your time, even if they say no. And people are going to say no. People are going to say yes. Just got to weed through the no's and find yourself a yes.
That's right. That's right.
Don't give up. Never give up. I got a question for you, for the Tom and NC Digger. Tom and Matt, what editing software do you guys use? Because I get that question all the time.
I just use the one that comes with my computer. It's just that regular Windows editing software. I honestly don't spend a ton of time editing my videos. I don't spend nearly as much time as you or Charlie from the Stealth Diggers.
Charlie's
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tom, what do you use?
I use a program called CyberLink Pro.
I've heard of CyberLink.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent program.
I mean, I get the question like a couple times a week, it seems like, and people are blown away when I tell them it's Windows Movie Maker. It's what on my computer, and they're like, well, and I've had Digging with Eddie asked me like a month ago, and then he laughed at me. He's like, "Really? That's Movie Maker?" I was like, "Yeah, just I know how to use the program, and I spend time on it and give it a little extra love." But I don't know. I feel like there's things I'd like to do that I can't do, so I'm just curious what else is out there and what people suggest.
Realistically, Kurt, when you create a 20-25 minute video, how many hours of hunting went into that video?
It depends. Usually when we get out, it's at least 8 hours. We're going to have a video coming up, maybe not this week, maybe the week after. We got out for 12 hours. and we had a pretty successful day, but it was 12 straight hours, and there was a lot of holes. There's a huge pile of trash at the end of that video. It's awesome.
About how long, on the same lines, about how long does it take to edit probably a 25-minute video?
It all depends. It all depends on, you know, if I'm just doing a regular old, you know, video, I could bang it out in one night. If my buddy Bill decides to find another dateless large scent where I have to create a fake dating site for him and a couple extra montage of video and edit that too, it takes a little while. They're all different. They really are, because depending on how good the actual video capturing was, it makes it a lot easier when you get to the editing room. And I've been trying a lot of different things lately that have made it harder on myself, because the program I'm using doesn't allow me to do the things. Like, you see Digger Charlie find something for the Stealth Diggers, and the picture will pop up as his voice just continues on, and you can overlay video and pictures on top of the audio from the original video that's playing. For me to do that, I have to upload that clip, save it as an audio file, come back, cut the video, plug in the new video or picture, then try to sync that audio clip with the actual video that's going on. And that's a long process, because the software that I use doesn't allow that. But I love that it looks, so I go through it.
Yeah, y'all do some amazing work in your editing of videos. It's just unreal.
Kurt, I got a question for you. One of my favorite finds that you've made is something that not a lot of people have found, and that's that love token. I mean, it's one thing to find a seated dime, right? I mean, that's an amazing find, but to find one that's personalized like that, tell us about that find and tell us about the love token. What's that all about?
Love token's been going on for hundreds of years. They wear a coin smooth and inscribe your lover's name on it, and you give it to that person. Or you inscribe your lover's name on it and you keep it for yourself. It was a dumb luck sort of thing. I was out, my first review video I've ever tried to do, because people...
What type of... Tell her I say to the people.
People ask me all the time, or they did ask me all the time, about do a review on the Nell Storm Coil, because everybody had questions about the Nell Storm Coil.
Again, V is second.
They saw it in my videos. So I finally mustered up enough juice, like, all right, I'm going to do a review, just to, whenever I get to ask the question, I'll be like, go watch the review video. If you have any more questions, come back to me. So I'm doing a review video, and I speak my piece. They do a couple tests, you know, air tests, bury a couple coins, go over them. And I was like, the real test is actually digging things out of the ground that weren't planted, that aren't in the air, and I started doing that. Popped up a few Indian head pennies and a V-nickel, some old brooch or pin, and then all of a sudden I flipped out a silver like 8-9 inches deep. And it was on edge, so you know, I grabbed my video camera out and I turned it on, and when I picked it up, I was like, I knew right off the bat it was a love token, because we've had a couple other members of my club find them in that same area, and that area is absolutely pounded. It's been pounded for 40+ years.
Wow.
It was meant to be for me to find that thing on that day, and the significance of the love token that I found is on one side, it's inscribed 1882, which is my birth, well, which is 100 years before my birth year. I was born in 1982. And on the other side is inscribed Katie, and my wife's name's Kathleen, and her sister calls her Katie, so It's really close and similar and awesome find for me. That was one of my very memorable finds as well, because not only is it an incredible find, but it's also personally linked to myself finding it too.
That's a great story, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
And her computer.
Hey, Kurt, can you see the internal chat?
I cannot.
Okay.
I'm afraid to touch any buttons because it was so hard to get in here too.
Yeah, I was just wanting to see if anybody on the panel knows the answer to that question, because if I didn't catch the answer to it earlier exactly, so I was going to see if they did, and if so, I was going to use that for our giveaway.
Oh.
Okay. Tar Heel answered it, so we'll. I want to go ahead and do that giveaway. I'm going to pull up the external over here so that I can help watch for the answer as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the question into the internal or into the external chat. And the first person that gives the correct answer will win that book about metal detecting that was written by Charles Garrett. So the question that I'm going to ask is, what was the year or the date of the oldest coin that Kurt has dug? What was the date of that coin? And when I type the question into the external and type go, then people can start answering, and the first answer wins the book.
Give me one secret out of that book. I need some help. My land's running dry.
Kurt, if you send me $4, I'll send you one.
All right. Oh, wow. Now, that went really quick. And I don't know if I should accept his answer or not, because he probably knows simply from talking with you about it. But
that's a good answer.
It looks like
J-Mo hit it.
J-Mo nailed it.
J-Mo hit it.
J-Mo nailed it.
What did he say?
1697.
That's not it.
Wow, that didn't take him long at all.
But he's wrong.
It's not. It's wrong. It's not the right answer.
Oh, it's not? Okay, well.
Thought you knew me better than that, J-Mo.
That's what Tar Heel put in the internal, so that's what I thought it was. What,
I'm curious what I said earlier now. I got my birthday wrong on the last chat I did.
Backyard Digger says 1940. 1940 is his oldest coin.
Hey, Tom, did you get the correct year?
I have it right here.
Well, don't show it quite yet.
I know. But they can see that. If I hold it in front of Matt, will only he see it?
No, I wish.
I thought I had it. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too, though.
Kurt, send me a message on Facebook.
Okay.
Thinking.
You're not on Facebook. How do you get to have your digger name? That's everybody else doesn't. All right, it's sending now. You got it.
Gotcha.
Are you going to put that in the internal there?
I will.
That way I'll help you go back through where everybody's guessed. All right, let me see who's got it.
I don't see a right answer yet.
Yeah, I don't either.
Backyard Diggers, you were close, buddy.
Dong.
That's funny. Little theme music there. Well, while they're guessing, and we're just kind of watching them scroll, I do want to thank everybody in the external for coming out and joining us tonight. There's so many large names out there from YouTube that it's hard for me to even count them all. Thank you guys for all coming out. It's an honor to have all you all in the external. Wow.
Super Drew.
Yes, Super Drew won it.
All you have to do is go to my Facebook or my YouTube, and it's right on there. It's the coin right in the middle of the picture.
Super Drew figured it out.
Good job.
Kurt, it was awesome talking to you tonight, man.
It was awesome talking to you guys.
Oh man, that is an amazing coin.
There it is.
It's a little chewy, but it is what it is.
Important thing is it has a 16 in front of it, right?
Absolutely. I had no idea what it was when it popped out of the ground.
That's huge.
Wow.
Very enjoyable.
I couldn't even imagine. No, I can't even imagine being able to dig something that old. That's just unreal to me.
Me too. I'll never find another one.
I'm still trying to hit the 1700s club.
Yeah. Likewise, pull tab. Me too. What would you rather dig, 8 bullets or a 1694 coin?
I can't even find a barber quarter.
1694. I haven't found a Washington silver quarter yet.
I've never found a silver $50 either. Just they don't happen.
You know, that's something that I didn't ask earlier, and no one else did either, I guess. What's the one item on your bucket list that you have not found that's still up at the top?
The white whale.
I mean, there's plenty up there. I would love to find Spanish silver. I've never found a silver real. I have found a copper quarter real, which is a crazy little coin in itself. I've never found Spanish silver, and I've never found a barber quarter or a silver $50. Just they don't happen. Never found a seated quarter. I found plenty of seated dimes. I found a couple of seated half dimes. My oldest silver is 1838 seated Liberty half dime. I've never found a bust. I've never found a cat bust coin. My oldest American coin is 1797 drape bust, 1 cent or large cent. So there's plenty of things on my bucket list.
Wow. And this is the second time I've heard or seen this question come up tonight in the external. First one was Rusty Halo, and now Backyard Diggers, also known as Sam Waters. They want to know, do you have a nickname for your detector?
Hoover.
Hoover.
And the cool thing is I did not name my machine. Somebody else did. Because
And that was?
it was somebody from my club. I was at one of our public hunting grounds, and I was swinging along, and I noticed somebody off in the distance, so I went over there, and we were chatting, and he had just bought an XP Deus, and he's like, "You get any deep signals, you mind if I beep them?" I'm like, "Absolutely." It's a great way to learn a machine, you know, compare signals, dig it up, and see what it is. And I was hearing things that he wasn't on any of the frequencies of his machine, and three of them in particular were relics, a couple mid-1800s suspender clips, and a pin. And he emailed our treasurer, and he's like, "I saw Kurt and his Hoover at the park," and me and the treasurer of the club are buddies. So he told me that John called my machine Hoover, and I thought it was funny, so I printed out a Hoover sticker and slapped it on my machine. And then they started calling us the Hoover Boys. And guess what? That was our name when I started YouTube.
Well, Super Drew wants to know, what did you have for lunch?
That was 2 meals ago. That's asking an awful lot.
Lunch was on the run today. I had to send out a few packages for my 1,000 subscriber contest I just did, or giveaway, I should say. And I grabbed a slice of pizza on the run.
Good old pizza. You mentioned giveaways. I do want to also remind all the viewers that if you are under 17 or under, or know someone who is 17 or under, go check out Tar Heel Diggins' page. Send him some videos for a giveaway that he's having, where he's actually giving away a Go Find 20 to get yourself a free machine. Go win it. Put together a little video and send it to him.
Thanks, Utah.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of it's Kelly Code is the one that sponsored that for you, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, they sponsored the prizes, and I've been getting a few decent videos in, but boy, just a handful. I'd really like to see a lot more youth videos for this contest.
I was going to ask you how it's going, because it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've gotten a few in. It's pretty slow. The deadline is the 26th of July at noon, and I just hope that people don't wait for the last minute. It's something that I just want the kids to get off the couch and get out there and make a video and have fun with it and submit it and see what happens. I think you might be surprised.
It's awesome.
That is. Anyway, we can get younger viewers or younger people involved in the hobby. It's going to be great. So get them videos made. Get them sent to him. Other than that, did anybody have anything else they want to bring up to Kurt before we go private? Tom, did you have anything you wanted to mention or bring up?
No, I'm good. I'm glad to be back.
How you, besides the oxycodone?
No, seriously, I'm glad to feel well enough to be back on camera for you guys.
That's great.
That down. I've been down pretty low the last couple of weeks, and y'all really didn't want to see me on camera. No.
Well, I am so glad to see you feeling well enough to be back on. So that's awesome.
I want to really thank the little guy right down the road from me here. He's from where I'm sitting. He's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots over with a little green shirt on. That's the one. I want to thank him for coming. This was almost like going on a metal detecting hunt with you, buddy.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I don't talk. I appreciate it, though.
I miss you, boy.
Miss you too, brother.
Congrats on those 3 ringers and that flying eagle. That was the bomb.
Yeah, Bevitt put it on your page, so you'll see it here in a minute.
I wish I could have been there to scream with you.
Oh, yeah, because I said some words that you probably would have loved to have heard.
Oh, yeah.
This should buy digger. Dig on.
Dig on, Velvet.
Love you, man.
If you guys, that's my wife. He calls her Bullet, so.
Oh, Al's on metal detecting says, quick announcement on his Facebook group page, Al's on metal detecting Facebook group page. He has a great prize for this week's Story of the Week contest. If people don't know or aren't members of that group, they need to check it out. He has a contest. It's a weekly contest. Every week it starts over of the Story of the Week. You can write a different treasure-related story, either fiction or fact or non-fiction, and doesn't matter as long as you've written it, and include a picture with it and post it on his group, and it'll be included in the Story of the Week contest. There are some amazing stories that are out there on that too.
Can I do it in crayon?
Crayon would work, but it might mess up your computer screen since it's on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
But you got to keep it in mind,
check that out, and you know, it's always great to read the different stories, and there's a couple of them on there that people have written. One in particular that I read that was amazing, that would really get people involved in metal detecting if they read it, because it's really a great story. But so yeah, go check that out, guys. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and take this private. Thank all of you for coming on the panel, especially you, Pull Tab and Kurt. It's great seeing you guys on here. It's an honor to see you on here. Digger, it's awesome having you back. I've been waiting for this day for you to come back and feel good enough for it, and I'm glad that it's finally here. Tar Heel, it's always an honor having you on. Sandy, thank you for always doing what you do. Without you, we wouldn't have a chat. You always keep the external engaged and in line. So thank you for that very much. And with that, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and go private. Don't forget, swing slow, swing low, and dig it all.
Dig on.
Eat your lunch.